taking three.
Going for the St. Louis now.
Oh no!
Son of a bitch.
You get your two?
Yeah. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thotgor here, of course, and today we have another episode of Ever Wonder. Yes. So the first clip we're looking at here, you can see that I'm in my Minikaze, and so far this battle, things haven't gone too bad at all. The problem is that I'm about to be faced with a crazy situation here, and I don't have the health to deal with it. So you can see I've launched torpedoes off at that enemy there, and I've more or less forgotten about that guy, because figure the torpedoes are going to get him. But now I have an enemy destroyer off to the starboard side, so I need to start dealing with this guy, and it's a little difficult considering I am in a Minikaze, and the guns on this thing are nothing compared to that Russian destroyer. So the Russian destroyer gets me, I'm gone, and I die. But wait, didn't I launch torpedoes? Yes. There goes the enemy cruiser, so that was fantastic. So at the very least, I did die, but I took another enemy ship with me. And overall, this battle wasn't too bad at all. We do, in fact, go on to win this battle, I believe, in the end. So not too shabby at all. Moving along, you can see that I am in my York. Now the problem with this clip is I forgot what ship I was actually in. Yes, even though I am in a York, at the time that I was playing this, I didn't consider that. You'll notice that I am the only ship here in this B-cap zone trying to cap it. So obviously that means I'm going to be the center of attention for a lot of enemy ships, and I'm thinking, oh, it's fine, Thotgor, no big deal, we need to get in here and cap this point anyway. But again, I'm in a York. Yes, not thinking about that at all. Just, you know, stroking my own ego here as enemy shots are coming in. Getting pretty lucky too, right? And I'm maneuvering around and not taking that much damage, and it's just all going to help this whole idea that, yeah, I'm not that bad off, and then blam, yeah. Big hits there from some enemy ships. I am just burning, my engine is gone, my torpedoes are, well, they're back now, but they were gone for a little while, so I don't have really a chance in hell here anymore. And it's about this time that I start looking around saying, what is going on? And I realize, my God, Thotgor, you are in a York, what are you doing? Sometimes, you know, we just get so caught up with the battle, don't even think about what ship we're in. Oh, yeah, that's how that's gonna end. Next, in my Tier 5 Russian destroyer, the Genvy here. So, in this battle, things weren't going fantastically, and I'm thinking to myself, alright, Thotgor, if we can just save this friendly warspite, we will be better off for it, because I need his big guns here. I am, in fact, only a Tier 5 Russian destroyer. There's not going to be a whole lot that I'm going to be able to do in terms of taking it to the enemy, especially with my skill level in this Russian Tier 5 destroyer. I pretty much suck at this destroyer, and we actually have a fail montage of this destroyer coming up later in this episode, yes. Just to bring emphasis to how much I suck at this destroyer right now. But you can see that my enemy warspite is taking a pounding. He is on fire. There's not going to be anything I can do to actually save this guy, even though I really wanted to. There he goes. That is unfortunate. So now, obviously, I'm seen, and I'm going to become the center of attention of these enemy ships out there in the distance. So we've got an enemy Kiev out there in the distance. He is pounding away at me. Not a whole lot I can do against this. Especially considering as soon as my guns get on target, I have to maneuver away from it. So yeah, just didn't work out for me. Didn't work out at all. Moving along in the Kagero, so you'll notice that I'm lining up torpedoes here, right on a battleship back in the distance. I've got another spread of torpedoes out there as well, and I'm thinking, yeah, maybe I'm gonna hit that, maybe I'm gonna hit that battleship. In the smoke there that we see, there is, or at least what I know, there is one enemy Kagero in there. That's what I know is in there. One enemy Fletcher, sorry, that is in there. That's what I know, but taking a look at the enemy destroyers on their team, you obviously know that they have more than one destroyer, so it's possible there might be another enemy destroyer in there. Who knows? Who knows? The torpedoes are on their way in now, and there we go. Yeah. I managed to take out one of the enemy Fletchers, and in fact it was an enemy Fletcher that I didn't even know was there. Yes, the enemy Fletcher we see right now, that's the guy I thought was there. Moving along in the same battle, you can see I was duking it out with the other enemy Fletcher there, some other enemy ships, and I have paid a pretty heavy price in doing so. I have very little health remaining, but I'm still trying to stick it out, still trying to do what I can to at least, you know, stay near or in the cap zone, put some pressure on the enemy. All for naught, though. Eventually they do end up taking me out, which really sucked. But man, I really enjoyed taking out that enemy Fletcher, because when I saw the first Fletcher, I was, you know, more or less very scared, thinking, how am I going to deal with this guy? And then to just take out his friend, oh, that was fantastic. Just fantastic. Moving into the next clip, you can see that I am in my York this time once again. This is called situational awareness. So you'll notice that I have some enemy ships to the to the port side of me, down that eastern side of this map. But I'm not really focused on those enemies over there, and I have very little health. So this isn't great. I'm more concerned with the enemy dive bombers that are overhead and with the enemy ships that are directly in front of me. Luckily, I am able to avoid the enemy dive bombers, so that was a bit of luck there. You can see my AA guns just furiously firing away, and I'm sort of maneuvering around to try to limit myself from any incoming fire from those guys there. I take a look at this enemy battleship over here, and I say to myself, alright, it's a New Mexico, and he's got a bit of land in between us. I don't really need to pay attention to that guy. Keep in mind, situational awareness. So he just took a shot at me, and he missed. And that just goes to further my, further reinforce my original assumption that I don't need to pay attention to this guy. He's not going to be able to get some effective shots in on me. Look at that, he misses again, so alright, yeah, we got this. So just taking some, doing some maneuvers here around this island, trying to come out and maybe ambush a few enemies, get some nice shots into them. You'll notice I have armor piercing queued up because I'm lining up on a cruiser, and then yeah. The enemy New Mexico that I had completely discounted took me out. Ugh. So this next clip that we're taking a look at here, this was a real heartbreaker. Yes, look at how many kills I have so far, and how many enemy ships are remaining. Yeah, so I was kicking a lot of ass in this battle. There is an enemy destroyer that I'm putting more shots into. He launches his torpedoes at me, so I'm a little concerned about these torpedoes, but not a big deal because I was able to cut my throttle and completely miss them. In the meantime, the enemy destroyer is just getting walloped by myself, and there we go, I kill him. That is now my 5th kill for this battle, so okay, alright. Those shots that I just took there was from an enemy New York. He's on the other side of the smoke, so we don't see him as of yet, but you can see that I did take a bit of damage from that guy, right? Keeping in mind this is a York, so no armor at all. I mean, anyone can do a bunch of damage to this ship. But there's the enemy New York now, so I'm going to try and get some sneaky torpedoes off at him, and then once he's gone, going to try and deal with the remaining enemy battleships, because they have quite a few battleships remaining. So here we go, lining up some torpedoes on the New York. I need to time it carefully. There we go. Managed to launch off that spread in between those two islands. I don't have enough time to get the second spread off, but doesn't really matter. Letting my turrets turn, putting some shots into the New York. The hope here was that, maybe set them on fire, force them to use his repair before the torpedoes hit him. Launch off my second spread for good measure. Take a look at those torpedoes though. They are on their way in. 2 of them are going to hit. There we go. Kill the New York. That is my 6th kill. So fantastic. Now we have to deal with this enemy battleship over here. So okay. Turning around, I don't want to present a broadside, so generally what I'll do is I'll turn, get one shot or one salvo off like that, and then start turning again. And this would be if the enemy is focusing on me. Now, how you tell that is obviously by looking at the turrets on the enemy ship. If the turrets are turning towards you or pointed towards you, then obviously the enemy ship is focusing on you. Luckily though, in my case, in this situation, I do have a bit of ally support in terms of one ally cruiser. Yes, we only have 2 ships remaining now. Just Me and that cruiser right there. So we are both focusing in on this enemy battleship. So fantastic. He's on fire. He's losing lots of health. So here we go. There goes some more shots out on him. And while those shots are going in, there. Those were the last shots to hit him. He's gone. That is my 7th kill for this game. So at this point in time, I'm feeling pretty good. But I'm also trying to be very, very careful. 2 enemy battleships remaining. So I've got an enemy battleship in front of me, or rather on my starboard side, and I have an enemy battleship on the port side. So I'm going to forget more or less about the battleship that's in the south part of the map here, and try and focus on this battleship that's in the north, because my ally is also in the north. So I figure if we can focus fire, we might be able to get this guy, maybe able to hold on and get a victory. That is what I'm trying to do, and while I'm doing that, I'm turning away from the battleship that's in the south, trying to present as little of target as possible so that, you know, prolong my life here. Not meant to be, not meant to be. What a heartbreaker that was. And we do go on to lose this battle, yes. I was so enraged with the outcome here that I didn't even stick around to see what the results were. No, I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. It was a good fight, though. Good fight. That enemy battleship that was in the south, you know, he had some good aim. So moving into the next clip, back in the York once again. I mean, obviously I've been grinding up my York a lot here, right? Trying to get to that Admiral Hipper. So here in this York, you can see that I am kind of pushing up into the north here, trying to get up there, support the 2 allies I have there. And sort of, again, a similar situation of forgetting what ship I'm actually in. A York can't push. It just can't. No matter how hard you try, it's not going to work. You need to have a lot of allies around you, and you need to not be the center of attention of, well, especially an enemy battleship or multiple enemy ships like I have behind me. Cleveland's behind me, and I'm discounting the Cleveland's behind me, saying, well, I'm driving away from them, presenting a small target to them, they won't be able to hit me that well. No. Look at the continuous incoming fire. I haven't even managed to get a shot off at the target that I want to shoot at yet, and I am more or less dead now. Yeah, look at that. So just try and keep in mind as well when you're playing the York, it cannot push. There is no circumstance where a York can push on its own. You need a lot of support in order to pull anything off with that thing. Looking at a clip in the Nuremberg now, so you can see I just managed to kill an enemy Omaha, I believe, and now I'm dueling off against this enemy Nuremberg over here. So the enemy Nuremberg has the advantage in this situation because he's able to more or less drive in the direction he wants to drive in while getting all his batteries off of me. Whereas what I have to do is I have to expose a pretty big part of my broadside in order to get all 3 of my batteries firing at him. I'm doing this and I'm trading HP while I'm doing this, but I'm considering and thinking about this and thinking that, you know, the HP I've traded so far just isn't worth the amount of damage that I've been doing to him, so I turn into him to present, again, a small target. This enemy Nuremberg, though, has some really good aim, and you can see that the situation that I'm in now favors the enemy Nuremberg, because I'm only able to fire 1 turret at him, while he or she, I should say, is able to fire 2 turrets at me, because, you know, there's 2 turrets on the rear of the Nuremberg here. So I'm really in a jam here. Yeah, tried to turn to get out of there at the last minute. Unfortunately, at the same time, enemy salvo was coming in, presented a great broadside to that guy, and he took me out. Damn. So, remember earlier in the video I talked about a Genvy fail montage. Yeah, that's what we're looking at here. So here's the first clip of the fail. You can see that I am, you know, trying to hide in some smoke. I've been trying to do this a little more in my Russian destroyers. Didn't work out at all for me, no. Not at all. The enemies knew exactly where I was, fired torpedoes in, and I am gone. Couldn't get out of that situation. In the next clip, you'll see here, back in the Genvy, on the same map actually, just in a different spot, but my steering is gone, and I'm on fire, so I'm trying to deal with all of this. My repair's on cooldown. I am in smoke though, so, you know, I figure that that's pretty good for me, or at least I'm near some smoke, so trying to remain hidden. Unfortunately, I'm getting a little bored with this trying to remain hidden thing, so I start shooting at the enemy battleship off in the distance. I figure, I'll get a few shots into him, maybe, you know, set him on fire, just help out my allies that I have around me. So start putting shots into this guy. While I'm getting shots into this guy, though, the enemy ships around him now suddenly see me, right? Because I've been firing. So they start putting shots into me. Suddenly I'm on fire again. Suddenly I was able to repair everything, but it's, all for naught. Because look at the amount of hit points I have. I'm just getting up to speed now, trying to pull away from this whole situation. If I can only get myself out of here, maybe I could save it. Maybe. It's not meant to be. Yeah, exactly. More enemy shots come in and take me out. Damn. The last fail clip here of the little Genvy fail montage in the episode is I had just managed to ground myself. There is a Nicholas right in front of me. Yeah, he's just sort of maneuvering in. My torpedoes are cooling down, so I'm not able to fire the torpedoes because the torpedo spread that I shot off the Nicholas, he was able to avoid. He just comes in point blank, more or less, and fires all of his torpedoes at me. I'm obviously furiously trying to shoot him, and so are my allies, but it's just not meant to be, right? Take a few more torpedoes and I am gone. I really suck at that tier 5 Russian destroyer, wow. So moving on into another clip here, you can see I'm in my Miyoko, and this has all gone horribly wrong because I managed to ground myself against the rock here you see in front of me, and in doing so, in the position of this rock, I'm also now riding the line, and that really sucks because my engine power is reduced. So I'm just trying to get myself out of this situation. I'm trying to reverse enough so that I can turn and clear this island and just get out of here. I don't see that many enemy ships around. Unfortunately, it is because there is some smoke around. So suddenly enemy ships start popping up, right? There was a bench in there in the background. We've got a few battleships, some other cruisers, another destroyer. So okay, I have very little health, so I'm trying to turn to get out of here, lining up some torpedoes just to see if maybe I can hit anyone. There was someone in my range and the lead indicator said it, so we'll try. And I figure now that I'm doing pretty good, yeah, until that salvo came in there from the North Carolina, and now I'm just trying to turn to get out of here. I'm trying to get back close enough to the line without actually riding it down, so maybe I can get out of the range, not be spotted. Pensacola now, right? I'm putting shots into him, but I'm so freaked out at this time that I don't even have my armor piercing loaded up. I'm firing high explosive at the Pensacola. That is how rattled I am. More enemy shots are coming in. I have very, very little health, so I need all of these enemy shots to miss me. Unfortunately, though, the shots that came from the Pensacola, those shots were true and finished me off, and I am gone. Those islands, I tell you. Just right out of nowhere. It really sucks. Alright, so this clip here is embarrassing. Not that all the other ones aren't, but this clip especially so. So I'm playing with a clanmate here, and he's in his North Carolina, I'm in my Amagi. We're on hotspot, and I was getting a little fed up with the way that none of my allied cruisers or destroyers or even my battleships were making any sort of move to capture A. There weren't many enemy ships in A. There was one Cleveland. However, they had a lot of support from enemy ships at B, and that's what I didn't count on. So I said, no, I'm pushing right into A. I'm going to take it. I'm killing that Cleveland. He's right around this island, actually. You can see me. That's where my guns are pointing right now. There he is. I'm saying this to my ally, and he's like, okay, I'm following you in. So here we go. So there's the enemy Cleveland. Now, the first mistake I make was shooting at his bow. He's not moving. I should have just shot right at midships to try and get the best possible chance of doing some, extreme damage in terms of citadels. Now I have to turn away. I'm on fire ×2, yes. Midships and the bow is on fire, but I really want to get the Cleveland gone before I repair the fire. Didn't want to take too much of a chance, though, so I did end up repairing my fire there, put all that out, and I'm putting more shots into the Cleveland. In the meantime, my ally is also putting shots into the Cleveland, gets it on fire again, but I finally take out the Cleveland. Now, there are two enemy ships here in the background, so I can see them over there, so I'm starting to put shots into them as well. What I'm not counting on, as I said, the support from B, yes. Massive hit there from one of the enemy battleships. I am on fire ×2. There's nothing I can do. I don't even think to repair or to heal myself. And I'm gone. Now this is where it gets a little more embarrassing. So you can see, flip over to my ally here, it's Door, and yeah, so the enemies were all focused on me. as they should have been, focusing their fire, trying to get me down. I cut in front of Door, and Door is now stuck on my sinking carcass. While this is happening, it presents an excellent opportunity for the enemies that were all focusing on me to now start focusing on him. Yes. And what's so unfortunate here as well is this is actually one of Door's first battles in his North Carolina, I believe. It's more or less stock, I think, as well. And so, he's just trying to have good battles in this ship to get some XP. And here, I just let him right into the jaws of death. Once more into the breach, I said. Door's really focused on that enemy Cleveland over there as well, not really paying attention to the enemy ships that are bearing down on him. I sort of look over and I say, hey, look, there's like a North Carolina that's, less than 4 kilometers away from you. He's like, what? Starts looking over, you can see his turning now, starts looking like, oh man, it's all lost. It's all over. Not a whole lot that can be done. In the end, I was very sorry. Not only because it cost me a whole crap ton of money, but because it cost Door a crap ton of money as well. Moving into the Marblehead here, you can see in this clip as well that I am, sort of duking it out with some enemy ships. I don't have very much hit points remaining, and I'm trying to play it as safe as possible, right? More or less driving in circles at this point, just trying to get as many shots off as I can at the enemies while, staying alive, because you can see that my team is winning. Here is an enemy destroyer, enemy Minikaze. I really didn't want to die by this guy. Unfortunately, though, he has set me on fire, has taken out a few, has taken out a bit of my HP. He has more shots coming into me. I'm trying to madly avoid these shots, right? I do not want to be killed by this enemy Minikaze. While this is going on, I managed to pull off a Confederate, so that's not too bad. First blood and Confederate in this battle. Enemy Minikaze is now maneuvering to avoid my torpedoes, and he manages to do so. That sucks. Puts some final shots into me and kills me. Yeah, that was a little embarrassing. A little embarrassing. Wasn't too great at all, in fact. I really don't like getting taken out by Minikazes and Mitsukis by their deck guns. Torpedoes, no problem with, but their deck guns, oh, it's embarrassing. Luckily, I did have some allies around. They managed to take them out, so I got my vengeance in the end, but The last clip we are looking at is a clip that Pudahead had submitted to me today, actually, while I was making this episode, and I thought I'd finish off with this, and this is Pudahead in his Minikaze. So yes, another great Pudahead Minikaze moment. He entitled this one, First to Kill, First to Die. Yes. So you can see we are on fault line, and Pudahead is moving over here into the west end, right? Enemy ships have started to pop up. So okay, alright, he says to himself, gonna just move in here, try and get a little closer to them, remembering the 7-kilometer range on the Minikaze. Oh my god, enemy battleship just pops up. So okay, alright, gotta deal with this guy. Suddenly all plans are thrown out the window. Enemy Nicholas, so we need to be careful as well of this guy. Dodge some enemy torpedoes there and start lining up on the enemy Nicholas. There's an enemy Kolberg in the background as well. Important to keep him in mind. So get some nice torpedoes off at the enemy Nicholas. Fantastic Pudahead. He gets himself a devastating strike and first blood, and obviously a kill. Nothing bad about that. Took a bit of damage, not a big deal, pops his smoke, repairs the damage, turns in on himself to make sure that he remains seen, and decreases his speed as well, right? So he's unseen at this point. No one has any idea where he is, other than the fact that they see a big cloud of smoke and they know probably he's somewhere in there. We know that the enemy Kolberg is somewhere around, right? We saw him, we know he's here. So we're moving out of smoke now, starting to pick up some speed, just trying to judge where that enemy Kolberg might be. You don't necessarily want to cut into the channel right away because, that could present a bit of an issue for you. Keep in mind, Kolberg has torpedoes as well. So just sort of maneuvering around, trying to go somewhere where the enemy Kolberg wouldn't necessarily expect you to be. That's more or less what Pudahead is doing at this time. Also, using the smoke again to his advantage, right? Remaining on the other side of the smoke or just skirting in and out of the smoke. Still waiting for the Kohlberg to pop up. Maybe the Kohlberg didn't even come into the channel. That's possible as well, but not for Poodlehead. No, he doesn't give up. There's the enemy Kohlberg right there. So alright, we're going to start lining torpedoes off at this guy. So lining up these torpedoes, there's one salvo. Oh, what? Yeah. Gets detonated from an enemy ship in the background, but manages to get that Kohlberg. Fantastic. Another devastating strike, and is but a flesh wound. Excellent job, Poodlehead. Excellent job. And that's going to finish our Ever Wonder episode for today. So just before we do end off the episode here, I also wanted to take a moment and just thank all of you guys a lot. So much for choosing to hit the subscribe buttons, and thank you so much for all those who comment, anyone who watches the videos, hits the like button. Just thank you. Thank you. It means a lot to me, actually. I just really enjoy connecting with you guys, right? And it makes me really happy to know that the content that I'm putting up is actually beneficial and people are benefiting from this, and that just blows me away. And you guys have thanked me, and I know that I've thanked you guys as well, but I wanted to take another opportunity to thank you as well. Thank everyone who watches, everyone who's a subscriber, and everyone who may become a subscriber as well. Just thank you so much. Really enjoying the doing this YouTube channel thing, and I think this was a great move as well. Anyway, not to get too sobby here. But again, thanks so much for watching the video through today, guys, and gals, I should say. Leave any comments you have for me in the comment section below. Love reading those, responding back to them. Hit the old like button if you liked today's video, and if you are not a subscriber, please do hit subscribe as well. As always, folks, I do hope you enjoy the rest of your day.